Okay, hi all, hi students, and hi Joe. It's my description and rationale for the changes that we're hoping to make to the sport and exercise science course. I hope these make sense. I thought a video would just make a little bit more sense than you trying to read quite a wordy and administrative document. Okay, so let's have a look. We'll start at level 4. So currently we have scientific inquiry and critical thinking is a 30 CAT module that spans 2 semesters. We plan to divide that into 2 15 CAT modules. We're going to use SP 4029 scientific inquiry, which already exists on the sports therapy and strength and conditioning map, and use that as semester 1. Effectively, sports therapy, strength and conditioning, and sport and X all do the same semester 1 anyway, they're just different in name change. We are then going to have a bespoke module in semester 2, SP 4036, essential skills for the sport and exercise scientist. So this, as well as having study skills and some research methods stuff, perhaps some more qualitative work compared to the more quantitative in semester 1. We'll have some employability content in there as well, and we'll try and target the employability element that the university are keen to push. Okay, well, another reason why we're trying to do that is because of the regulations. So if a student was to fail SP 4021, the current module, they would need then in level 5 to retake that module. So that's retaking a 30 CAT module. So that's a big ask. So we think that it gives students a better opportunity if that's broken down into 2 15s. And again, if students were to fail one of those modules, it's a little bit better to take with them to level 5 a 15 CAT module rather than a 30 CAT module. Also, there are only so many modules, if you fail modules, you can take with you to level 5. So it reduces the chances of any students max failing by if they might need to take 2 15 CAT modules with them. That's fine, but if they can't take more than 2 30 CAT modules with them, so they would end up needing to remain in a level 4. So we're hoping to kind of avoid that. So I kind of hope that makes sense. In terms of the 3 main disciplines, physiology, psych, and biomechanics, broadly we're just going for some name changes. So instead of what's currently there, we want the fundamentals of anatomy and physiology, the fundamentals of sport and exercise psychology, and the fundamentals of biomechanics. So we've just got a nice consistent theme that through those 3 modules, and also the word fundamentals links nicely with the levelness of level 4. It's not quite all we're doing, because we're going to break up the current SP 4020 sport and exercise biomechanics module again into 2 modules. So we've got a new module, SP 4035 is the fundamentals of biomechanics. Again, sports therapy and strength and conditioning already have a bespoke 15 CAT biomechanics module, so we're all going to do that module, so we're all getting the same content. So really the content doesn't change, it just brings us in line with sports therapy and strength and conditioning in our community. But we're going to add, I can't find the name, fundamentals of anatomy and physiology, which will be SP 4034, which will just be pretty much what we currently do in the first half of current biomechanics, is we just look at functional kind of anatomy. So the content doesn't particularly change, we're just really changing the names of the modules, and again breaking a 30 CAT module down into 2 15s has all those benefits for any students that have failed that I mentioned previously. And that's it at level 4. Okay, moving on to level 5. What are we doing at level 5? So the existing map has 1 compulsory 30 CAT module, SP 5020, that's our second year research module. That's going to stay as it is. So there's no changes. That's going to remain a compulsory module. But we're also going to make the three main disciplines, physiology, psychology, and biomechanics, as well as nutrition compulsory. So that will be 90 compulsory CAT points from those modules. Why are we doing that? Well, we think to be a sport and exercise scientist, you must have done more than 1 year of physiology, biomechanics, psychology. So we think having those as compulsory modules for 2 years is quite important to say, yeah, I'm a sport and exercise scientist. I understand all those concepts. From an we're also adding nutrition to that mix as well. So our level 5 nutrition module is also going to be a compulsory level 5 module. Why are we doing that? Well, we again, as I said, we just think those modules are important. We're very aware that in any sport and exercise science job, there's a greater need for multidisciplinary awareness. So students having a background in all three of the main disciplines is going to put them in a much better position. And again, nutrition is so significant for both health and sport performance. We feel that that's really important for us to keep that and make that a compulsory module. Furthermore, and perhaps of less interest to the students, but there's a drive from Central University, which has perhaps caused this to have many more compulsory modules, so the course is a little bit more stable, rather than some people on this, some people on that. Okay, there's going to be some name changes as well. So physiology, psychology, and biomechanics will have the word applied in them. So we're going to have applied physiology of sport and exercise, applied sport and exercise psychology, and applied biomechanics of human movement. So again, that links them all together quite nicely, and it's got that levelness that now there's a bit more application as we move to level 5. A couple of other changes. SP 5025 Advanced Program Design and Human Movement. I'm going to change the name to Program Design and Coaching for Sport and Exercise. Content remains mostly the same. SP 5027 Sport and Exercise Sciences Level 5 Placement. We're just removing the word sciences, so it'll become Sport and Exercise Level 5 Placement. We're just doing that because that module is shared by sports therapy and strength and conditioning, which they come under the broader remit of sport and exercise, but by having sport and exercise sciences in there, that seems like it's our module rather than a shared module. So we thought we'd just take out that word sciences. And that's level 5. So at level 6, what are we doing? So we're going to still keep SB 6024, the independent project. So that's staying as is. Sorry if I'm being a bit stuttery. I'm just trying to read my map. Okay, but when we get to the core modules, we are suggesting that we will have, instead of, well, currently there are 45 CATs worth of core modules, and you must choose 2. So there's anatomy, phys, psychology, and biomechanics, and you've got to choose 2 of them. We're going to change that, hopefully. So now we're going to have 4 core modules, and 3 must be chosen. So we've still got physiology, we've still got biomechanics, we've still got psychology, but we're adding nutrition into those core modules, and you have to choose 3 of those. So we're going to add that in. What else are we adding in? The name changes. So in terms of the 3 main disciplines, let me just scroll down a little bit. At level 6, everything will become advanced physiology of sport and exercise, advanced sport and exercise psychology, and advanced biomechanical analysis of movement. Again, indicating that levelness as we move up to level 6 and keeping a nice running theme through all the modules. What are we adding? So we're going to make this module compulsory along with SP 6024, the independent project. So data analytics for sport and exercise. So this module is going to help us develop a bit of an understanding of big data. It's going to look at artificial intelligence and the associated technology and data analytics, because they are kind of big issues in the world of sport and health, but also they're kind of big issues in various big companies, and being able to deal with big data and using that technology, we think is going to be a really important employability skills in the 21st century, and we think it's going to be quite important for our graduates to have a good taste of that at level 6. So we hope this module is going to be a little bit unique and give a bit of a cutting edge scientific feel to the course. We are going to delete SP 6023, application of sport and exercise sciences. We just feel that we're keen not to have too many modules, and this was one that was effectively voted out. It encompasses psychology, physiology and biomechanics, and brings them both together in a case study, and we feel there's enough of that interdisciplinary work done through lots of our other modules, of our nutrition modules, our fitness kind of based modules, that those themes of bringing the disciplines together exist elsewhere in enough detail that that module is just not particularly needed and doesn't add much to the course. We're going to technically delete nutrition for sport performance and delete dietetics, exercise and health, and replace that with one module that covers both of those topics, nutrition for sport performance and health. We felt that there was too much, it was diluting the take up onto modules by having 2 nutrition modules, and nutrition is very physiology based, so it weighted our course very much in favour of physiology rather than biomechanics and psychology. So we felt merging the best bits of those 2 existing kind of health and sport modules together into one nutrition module would be the best way forward. Cardiac rehabilitation will be replaced with interventions and rehabilitations for special populations. I'm going to say that again. Interventions and rehabilitation for special populations. So at level 5, we got SP 5024, exercise for special populations. So this is just moving up from here. We don't particularly have a problem with cardiac rehabilitation, but we just feel that it's very specific to one special population group, and therefore we're missing out having discussions on other population groups such as stroke victims, cerebral palsy athletes, amputees, and we could even consider kind of socially special population groups such as at-risk youth, etc., and look at a variety of topics rather than focusing just on cardiac rehabilitation. Cardiac rehabilitation will kind of feature in that module as well, so it's not disappearing. From a delivery point of view, from the course point of view, if we lose a cardiac rehabilitation specialist, we're in a little bit of trouble. By having the module a little bit broader, we've got people who deal with stroke victims, cerebral palsy athletes. We've got a little bit to play with there to keep that module going, and not to get us in trouble if one of our cardiac rehabilitation specialists just leaves, for example. We're going to add in SP 6036, multidisciplinary rehabilitation from the sports therapy map. So this is a continuation then of SP 5026, the sports injuries module. So it's a nice step up from sports injuries, really. We felt that currently sports injuries just sat there on its own at level 5 and didn't really develop or go anywhere. So we thought we would add in, we'll draw and pinch this module from the sports therapy team. It's also been used by the strength and conditioning team. So we can look at kind of a bit more of a sporting rehabilitation module, which we think will go down really well with our students. And very finally, SP 6032, Sport and Exercise Sciences Level 6 placement is going to be replaced with the Sport and Exercise Sciences. Let me adjust that before I send that. SP6032, Sport and Exercise Sciences Level 6 placement, is going to be replaced by Sport and Exercise Level 6 placement. And again, much like Level 5, we've just taken the word sciences out, so it's a little bit more applicable to strength and conditioning and sports therapy that share that module. I hope that makes sense, and I hope it makes a little bit more sense than me just sending over the document, which is why I've done it. Students and Joe, if you have any questions and any of that doesn't make any sense, please get in touch. So what, from a student rep's point of view, what I'd like is just a few sentences really saying, yeah, I think this is a good idea. I think this will be of benefit to students. I like the idea of this new module, etc. Just a few sentences there would be great that we then put forward to a panel. It's called the VSP panel that we have to go to and justify our decision making. We need your input into that. So thanks in advance for your input, and again, if any of this doesn't make sense because it is quite complicated, please get in touch and I'll kind of walk you through it. Cheers all, bye bye.